My name's Kim Sanderson, and I'll be reading from my translation of a book by and about Le Corbusier and an early work of his when he was known as Charles-Édouard Jeanneret. It's called Le Corbusier's Practical Aesthetic of the City, the treatise La Construction des Villes of 1910-1911. This is part of the essay by Christoph Schnoor. What would La Construction des Villes have contributed to the planning debate had it been published? We began by tracing the history of its creation, with reference to Jeanneret's library studies. This illustrated how intensely the young architect grappled with the subject matter in his manuscript, even without being aware of the full spectrum of contemporary planning discourse. Subsequently, our in-depth analysis of the manuscript's content documented the wide range of theories and opinions Jeanneret took on board as he read. Indeed, he adopted and adapted these ideas, soaking them up like a sponge. He tended to process the concept straight away and transfer each into a fresh context. An overview outlining the period from 1911 showed the extent to which Jeanneret's examination of urban design issues was later supplanted by other projects. This continued until 1925, when as Le Corbusier he published Urbanisme, a book which, while deeply rooted in La Construction des Villes, paradoxically seeks to obfuscate and outwardly deny these roots. We have proposed answers to the question of why Le Corbusier himself never published La Construction des Villes. Now, equipped with this new information on the chronology of events, on the connections between ideas, on the manuscript and its sources, we approach our final analysis. The following questions will be addressed. Was Camillo Zitta actually the main influence on Jeanneret's study? And conversely, how much of himself did Jeanneret bring to the manuscript? What, after all, is the manuscript's central theme? Could La Construction des Villes have stood its ground among the contemporary planning literature? And can it really be viewed as a treatise? Throughout this essay, we have seen that it would be difficult to concur with Le Corbusier's later assertion that La Construction des Villes was a somewhat stupid book, un livre un peu idiot, as he put it. But would Jeanneret's document have been well received among experts if published? This is an extract from the manuscript by Le Corbusier. On streets. This is the most important chapter, since the appearance of a city's streets produces the impression of its charm or ugliness. It is in travelling a city's streets that one will either find cause for enthusiasm, daydreams and enjoyment, or feel a dreary lethargy creeping in to paralyse one's legs and leave forever a hateful memory of the city thus glimpsed. Thoroughfares must be created that are easy and practical to use, firstly for the beasts that transport heavy burdens, and then to save mankind tiredness and tedium. All this must also be combined with the most economical solutions. The land may happen to be uneven, in which case a design completed with a pair of compasses and a set square will be impossible, and the city planner must become a geometer of space, constantly calculating in 3 dimensions, height, depth and width. For business, spacious arteries will be provided. The main places with intensive commerce will be identified. These will be linked in a well-planned network. For pedestrians, narrower streets will be created, a finer mesh, with very direct intermediate links, a veritable network of capillaries, bringing life to all parts of the organism via the shortest route. From this, we can draw our first conclusion, that the width and slope of streets can and must vary, and systems with streets all of equal width are to be rejected. The present-day building administration does not think the same, and the latter is in fact the system it employs, thus creating some streets which are too narrow for their heavy traffic, and numerous others that remain too wide, too open. Sad, solitary streets where one mourns how the space has been maligned. The first corollary of such an arrangement is, a disastrous consequence of designing with the T-square and set square, a rectilinear street layout with cruciform intersections and blocks of a picture-perfect square or rectangular shape. Figure 34 shows this checkerboard subdivision. It would be hard to find a city in Europe without entire new districts planned like this. The development of cities will continue to be hampered by such procedures for some time to come, applied in the name of speed and hygiene. As proof of the often poor correlation created between the width of a street and the traffic using it, one of London's busiest streets, London Bridge, is 16 metres wide, while 25,000 vehicles and 125,000 people pass along it each day.